So we started back in 2018, believe it or not. And here we have developed all these wonderful DC characters. And I'm curious what you guys think.
There's just so much to do with these characters. We have a new animated take on them, and it's a fun, caricatured world to really push what we can do with Superman and Batman and their pets. And it's just been so much fun to explore a new dimension.
You know, superhero movies have kind of taken over popular culture. So it's really fun to try and do something a little different. It's our origin story, like PB says. You know, it's very exciting.
Hop on, y'all!
There's a thing that I pitched really early on when Superman and Krypto are flying through the city, and it was like the way Superman holds the leash. Because the way you hold the leash is wrapping the loop around your wrist. That's how a dog owner holds the leash, by your fingers. So
Right.
It was fun to be able to inject, you know, that kind of stuff into this story.
I think the most challenging character was Ace. He's weathered and had a hard life, and he's grizzled, and he was one of the most interesting characters for me.
Dave, you want to talk a little bit about the way we approach animation of Krypto versus Ace, about their different personalities and where they come from?
Well, you know, Krypto's heroic. And when I talk about Krypto, I sit up straight.
That's right. You got very heroic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do. Like, Krypto is heroic, beautiful, sculpted, you know, cut dog. And Ace is not. Ace is like this guy. He's like, he's settled into his mass, and, you know, he probably weighs, what, 50 pounds more than Krypto? Trying to get the expressions on a dog whose fur is all like super light colored, that has a challenge, right? And then Ace has got really dark brows, and trying to make sure that his expression always reads, because his whole mask, his whole face is quite dark.
And it also gives you a little bit of a feeling of Batman, because Batman has blues and Ace has blue, and Ace's ears have a shape that reminds you of Batman, and his coloring on his mask. We definitely tried to design Ace as a dog who should end up with Batman. So you see it, so that bandana actually helped us.
And Krypto's design too, I think, you know, you can see it if you look for it, but his basic shape is the House of L logo.
Yeah.
It's the Superman shield.
Yeah, and actually his nose is also the shape of the shield, and his ears point down towards each other. So we really did that intentionally to try to, because it was like, how do we create a unique looking dog? And it's like those things just sort of materialize in a drawing. We said, let's push that a little bit more towards that.
I don't know if it was really intentional or not, but at the beginning we started with this framing up shots, you know, on Krypto, and we were talking about the framings. What do we do with Ace in the cage and just at his level, always, you know, so low to the ground, whereas Krypto was flying.
Yeah, that's great. The camera in the movie really emphasized the pet's point of view. We're in the city, we're at ground level with them. You know, we're not seeing this movie from a human point of view. We're with the pets. That's a different way to approach it. There's that fun scene when Krypto and Superman are saving the city from the meteor, where Krypto catches it at the last minute. There's this little baby with an ice cream cone, and that was added by, I think, Egbert and the layout team.
Ma'am? Baby?
The little ice cream falls and the baby cries. Like, that was
He doesn't
not...
cry about the meteor, he cries about the ice cream cone.
Of course, ice cream is way more important.
Just a sweet little small moment in a giant catastrophe, and like, it's just fun to have that and all the little nuances of behavior that animation added.
4 years of finding backstories to these characters and trying on different takes. We've gone through a lot of iterations of this.
I do love Merton's shell.
Yeah.
Because that speaks volumes.
Yeah, her backstory is on her back.
It's like literally on her shell.
Literal backstory on her back.
And you guys were meticulous about that shell. I can't, hours and hours spent what imagery should be there, how much should it be falling apart.
Yeah, she's got like a Rosie the Riveter style Wonder Woman stamp. She's got an I Like Ike pin, some Metropolis-centric flair, right? We had the backstories, actually, of all the characters. We actually had a scene that showed how Chip ended up in the animal rescue. Chip liked to climb trees, and as a little baby squirrel, and he jumped and touched an electrical pole, and he got shot.
Buzzy tree.
And he was scared of the buzzy tree. He just had this fear, and it informed his character. And yeah, Merton was just crossing the street and kind of just getting hit by cars and horse-drawn carriages. Because we had her like basically 150 years old.
She got hit by cars since before there were cars.
Yeah.
Vanessa Bayer brought such sweetness and such warmth to PB.
Yeah.
And had that fangirl energy for Wonder Woman that was so great.
I like the fact that she's a super nerd of the DC
Yes.
universe, you know. She knows everything about Superman, she knows everything about Crypto.
Yeah.
So
And that was a late change with the Solar Paw Punch, that Crypto used to describe what that meant, and then it changed in the end in this last version where PB is describing what it means as a fangirl.
Not even Superman himself has tried it.
And it's so much more fun. She's got such a great energy.
She's obsessive.
That's what the fun of animation is, that you bring it in performance, you bring it in the camera. Sometimes the director helps.
Sometimes.
Rarely. Usually get in the way.
There are things like that. It's really great.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite character, but I love spending the time with them. And even though it's been 4 years, right, it hasn't worn off.
It's Lulu. It's Lulu. Come on. Lulu is
Is that your favorite character? I think that's
thinking-
his favorite character.
I think Lulu is the most interesting and unique, in our movie. It's just fun to see what we did with her. I'm so proud of where animation department took her.
When I started this movie, I was super worried. How do we pull off a villain who's a guinea pig?
yeah,
A hairless guinea
A
pig.
hairless guinea pig.
I remember trying to pose her, and I was like, she's got so tiny hands. She's a villain, and she's so tiny. She's got the giant head.
She can't touch her
She
ears.
can't touch her ears. What?
It was a huge challenge, and I think her design is super fun, and Kate is delicious.
Okay, enough mayhem, thank you. We gotta go.
There's all these other super characters, I believe, that are in the DC universe, which, we didn't have a space for them in this film.
We tried Storm the Seahorse, which was a seahorse that was also at the shelter in a fish tank. Left behind, kind of. He was just kind of a, hey guys, remember me? I'm Storm the Seahorse from the shelter. And it was just a fun little running gag. And he ended up having the power to multiply himself. So yeah, he was at one point a million of him helping them secure something on this bridge in the third act. And it was funny, but again, you can only fit so much. So Aquaman has a lot of aquatic friends. He had an octopus named Topo. Topo was an interesting character from the DC canon, this octopus. And we tried the octopus, and I think it was certainly a challenging thing to do in animation. It's not easy to animate an octopus. Sometimes a movie can only hold so much, and you have to make changes, make the movie stronger.
Well, animation is hard, and it takes a lot out of you, and it takes a lot out of the team, and it's tough, but you love it. Just love it. So, yeah, it's been an amazing couple of years.
Yeah. Animation is about detail, if nothing else, and consistency of detail, and then bringing that artistry to the thousands of things you have to decide every day over a long period of time. That's real craft, and it's super fun for me to be able to see people doing what you do. I'm just lucky I get to be around you guys to do that.
Yeah. That love and that care that everyone brings to it, it's so much better because everyone's working together.
It is what makes animation great.